Hello and welcome to another podcast with me, Mark Riley. This is part two, I suppose, of the second episode of my hiking podcasts. I'm not sure how many I'm doing. I'm just sort of going with the flow. So last week I was in Cornwall, as you all know. So I did I podcasted from the very short distance that I did, which was Penzance to a place called Long Rock, and then back again, which was only like 3 miles or something, so it wasn't anything significant. And then the following day, when the weather was a little bit better, I hiked the journey of Penzance to Land's End, which was 17.2 miles. Although if it was flat, then it probably would have been about 4 hours, something like that, but I did it in 5.5 and it felt more like 25 miles. But not insurmountable. I can't say by the end of it I was exhausted and my legs ached terribly or anything like that. So anyway, by the by, today I'm in Broxbourne. Now I started my journey in Enfield, where I live, and I'm heading to Hertfordshire. Well, no, I'm heading to Hertford North Station, actually. That's my end point. So we're going to see how we do there with that. I'm multitasking, because apart from doing the hike, I'm also doing a video of various locations and trying to take pictures of various things as we go along, and obviously recording this podcast. So I thought I'd wait till I got to Broxbourne to start doing that side of it. As you can hear, I don't know what the time is now, actually. I don't really care. I've been on the trek for about 3 hours maybe. I'm certainly halfway through anyway, so I'm aiming to make it to Hertford by around 5:30, 6 p.m. And this isn't a journey that I normally do actually on foot. Normally I do it on my bike. It's my I call it my bike testing ground, really. So whenever I make modifications to the various two-wheelers that I own, this is normally what I do this is the route that I take, which is along the River Lee navigation. And I take that all the way to Hertford and then get the train back, or if I'm feeling exceptionally brave and fit, I may ride back. And then there is sort of the various... Well, the main option really I've got as an alternative is to go off to Harlow, which I then go on the River Stort, which is a turn-off that sort of I think I would be coming up to fairly close, fairly soon. Actually, no. Yes, no, I am confused. Yes, it is a turn-off that I'm coming up to very soon. But the next stop, I always call it St Margaret's. I don't think it is, actually. I think St Margaret's is a little further down the line. But there is... my cousin actually lives quite close to this part, and I can never remember where it is. But there's apparently a nice pub. Not one that I would personally go to, if I'm honest. But then I'm not really a pub man, so I wouldn't do that. The weather today is better than it was in Cornwall last weekend. And when I say that, I mean it's not windy and it's not blowing me over, but it is raining. But I don't mind rain. Rain doesn't bother me. I'll happily walk or camp or do any activities really in the rain. That's not one that particularly bothers me. It's normally the wind I have the problem with. Externally, I might add. So, and one of the things I love about walking along River Lee navigation, as opposed to the River Lee, which I should point out is 50 yards, maybe 50 to 100 yards to east. Well, it's not east now because I'm heading east. I'm not just come to this section of Broxbourne where the River Lee navigation meanders east and then starts heading north again. So the actual River Lee follows it more or less, but further east. So I don't know because I can't see. I know that I'm on the River Lee Country Park, so I know both rivers go through that park, but I couldn't tell you exactly where the River Lee is right now. Anyway, the reason why, so I love the River Lee because of the boats. I love narrow boats, canal boats, and there is an abundance of them, various different types. Just got a really rare opportunity, which I didn't really take, and I should have, was a shell, an empty one with the doors and windows open. I could have taken pictures inside, added to my designs that I like to do of narrow boats, with the dream of one day owning one and living on one, but we never know. It's either that or a tiny house. It has to be one of the two because it's where my passion is. Now I've come to a section of a bridge which I never know what this road is, which is going over the river, and now there is like one of these inflatable paths that's been erected, and I have to go on that now, so you're going to hear a hollow sound. Hopefully there's no trolls underneath, just one going over the top right now. So this is cool because I'm right out in the river, right in the centre of the river on a inflatable path, which is pretty damn awesome, actually, I have to say. It's called a pontoon. How did I not know that? It's a pontoon. So there you go, a pontoon, which I thought was a game, a card game that we have here, which I think here in the UK we call that, which is the game of 21s, we call pontoon 21, and I think in America they call it blackjack. I'm not entirely sure. So right, I'm not much, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this because it is raining quite heavily and I don't want to get my recorder wet, so I can't even see how long I've been talking. So this will end up on the markrolly.org website, and also they're currently it's on my other website, which I've got a lot, the dreadhouse.com, which is my horror website, which this won't end up on, but I've got another website which I've built on a Raspberry Pi in my home. So I built a Raspberry Pi as a server, and that server is currently in my bedroom right now, taking up 3 inches of space on my desk. And that is where, if you go to thelastbroadcast.org, that is where you are going, to a space on my desk. I'm feeling quite proud of that because it's a very basic HTML website that I've started to store all my adventures on. So that's all of my adventures, from my biking to my hiking. Don't have anything on my stand-up paddleboarding as yet, but now the season's kind of more or less over, I'm guessing I pretty much won't be doing that for a little while, which is a shame, because it would have been quite nice to dust off the old wetsuit, get out on the river. But I'm aiming to do canoeing actually next. Kayaking next, as a skill to learn, an adventure skill. So I'd quite like to do that, learn to kayak effectively, chuck a few bags in there, go camping, take the boy on the River Lee navigation, with lots of beautiful boats, some swans and some geese and a couple of fishermen, and then a hippie bus, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that really, because it's, they might get offended. No, it's a hippie bus. It's an ambulance converted into a bus, a living bus, which is a very cool idea. Now I've just seen a beautiful bike, actually. It's electric as well, so not so beautiful, just beautiful in looks and aesthetics rather than beautiful as in a beautiful ride, because it's electric assisted. So, and we know I'm not a fan of those. I prefer to use dad legs. And so yes, so this particular stretch that I'm doing from Enfield up into Hertford North is about 20 miles. Most of it is flat. So, as I've already noticed, because by this time last Sunday in Penzance I would have fallen over twice. Okay, so I'm now doing this section that I'm walking across, which is in a place called Nazing, and there's loads of potholes, and if on the bike, actually on Strava, it's actually called the Pothole Challenge, which is fantastic if you've got a mountain bike, a hardtail or full suspension. Not so good if you're on a road bike. In fact, it's terrible if you're on a road bike or a hybrid. Very painful on the backside, so not recommended, unless of course you've got some form of suspension on your bike, or you like going up and down potholes and travelling at 5 miles an hour so you don't fall off, or you're not thrown from your saddle. There is also a ridiculous amount of mud as well. When I say that, actually it's not a ridiculous amount of mud. That's pathetic that I've just said that. It's a tiny amount of mud compared to what I saw in Cornwall last week, and what I had to walk through and wade through and dodge and jump over and fall in. No, it's not actually. There's a minimal amount of mud, and I suspect, knowing this path or this trail as I do, I'm not expecting a huge amount of mud either, if I'm honest. and I'm not expecting an awful lot of puddle dodging or puddle jumping, should I say. I should actually really take a picture so that you get a sense of what I'm talking about. If you are, I don't really know, if you're looking at this on markridey.org, then you're probably not going to really see, because I probably won't publish the photographs there. Debbie, if you are listening to this, if you listen to this on iTunes, then you won't know what I'm talking about with the websites anyway. But if you are listening to this on my website or the lastbroadcast.org, then you'll know that the photographs are actually there. And I've just suddenly realised I should create a podcast page for that site. So I think I will do that when I get in. As one of my activities for this evening, after supper, I think I will... Listen to me, supper. When do I ever say supper? Because I'm showing off. I'm doing a podcast, I'm showing off. That's good. I never use that word, supper. I say dinner. So after dinner, which I haven't decided what I'm going to have yet, because I don't know. I don't know what to do. See, I haven't eaten meat since... I don't know if I said this in the last podcast, actually. I'm just repeating myself. But I haven't eaten meat since January the 1st, 2019. And I stopped eating meat, not because of a conscious thing. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I don't care. I'm not a vegetarian. I don't profess to be a vegetarian. I am just somebody who doesn't eat meat. I chose to do that for health reasons, to lose weight, to get fit, and to have a healthier diet. And that worked, actually. Worked very successfully. And it meant that I got to get out and have activities and do various things. I was talking to a couple of hikers, fellow hikers, I might add, going in the opposite direction. So I where was I? I was talking about not eating meat. So it was, and it worked. And it's worked because the 11th month of the year, the 11th month of running and cycling and exercising and not eating meat, although it's only, not eating meat is a tiny fraction of it. It was really just to kind of improve my diet, really, because I'd fallen into that trap for a very long time, I might add, actually, of where you're thinking, I've got to eat meat, so it doesn't matter what I eat. No idea what I'm saying. That makes no sense. Doesn't matter what eat. No, I could try again. It doesn't matter what meat I eat, as long as I'm eating some meat, right? There we go. Got there in the end. I'm going to keep that in. Right? So it could be anything. It could be rubbish. You think, I'll have a kebab and I'll have a little bit of salad as well, and then that's the healthy bit. So the great thing about not eating meat is that you can eat a little bit of crap, and I don't mean obviously poo, I mean bad food, unhealthy stuff, but the vast majority of what you substitute meat with is made up of plants or vegetables, so it's plant-based. So it's like, well, actually I'm eating healthier than I would have, so it worked. However, saying that, now I've kind of, I'm getting to that stage where the weather's turned colder. It's the first time I've been out really properly where I'm actually wearing trousers since April. I've been wearing shorts ever since, but that's just me. And it's only because I had a bit of a sore throat last night, and I thought, I've been walking about in this cold weather in shorts. Maybe, I should wrap up a bit, which is a massive mistake, I might add. Because I did the rookie mistake. I don't know why, I think I'm new to hiking, but I did the rookie mistake of walking out today with 3 extra layers on. And of course, I got 3k down the road and I was sweating. It's like, this is not good. So I've now got like my big heavy scarf in my backpack and my hoodie. So I'm now just down to my jacket, which is fleeced, with a thermal jumper, thin thermal jumper I might add, underneath. So that's my layers. I'm not going to take them off. I'm not going to strip off any further. I think I'm wearing hiking trousers, so which are quite lightweight but half wet, but they're not heavy at all. And to think I was going to go out in jeans as well, which I never do. I never wear jeans for walks. So, well, I wasn't going to. I would have stopped myself. I am aware of that. So, I'm a bit... Where am I? How far am I? I think I could actually check, actually. But I am 15k into this walk. So, what did I work that out as? Something like 9 miles, something like that. just shy of 9 miles, maybe 8 something miles, maybe a little bit more, but something like that. No, got a few twinges around the hip joint, but nothing serious. Still, just past the halfway mark, more or less. So coming up to a place called Dobbs Weir, which has one of those campsites, one of those caravan club campsites that, they say, oh, we're all friendly and we're lovely and we're like everybody. If you turn up in a caravan, they're wonderful people. If you turn up on foot or on a bike with a tent, they're a bit like, I've got to get a space to you. Okay, right, fine, just go over there. Which was one of my experiences anyway. Another experience, they were actually quite friendly. And the campsites, they've got showers and it's all very clean and looked after. I suppose it has to be, really. Otherwise, people in camper vans get upset. And then they've got a caravan park as well. I'm quite surprised at the amount of fishermen I've seen. A few different people with a few people's bikes and locked up. Some guys, a woman's left their stuff. Nope, he's sitting under a tree. But he's left his rods out. But I suppose because we're at single figures here at the moment with our temperature. When I left, it was about 6 degrees. When I took my son to tennis this morning, it was about 4. So it was cold. Normally I would play, but I chose not to this morning because I thought I was going to save my energy for this, because I knew this hike would take a lot out of me. So I chose not to, which is okay. But then my usual tennis partners went off and played by themselves. I don't mind. But Lucas had a good time. But the downside to that is obviously I had to sit down in the cold, even though I was wrapped up, which meant I got the full force of the cold weather and how cold it really is at the moment. And it's only going to get colder. So we are 52 degrees north of the equator, and so we do experience winters like they are. No, I'm not obviously not Midwest USA or Northern Europe in that sense, but we definitely stay in single figures down to minus or negative, depending on how you say it. So I think I am going to leave it there. I've made it to Dobbs Weir Lock, which is Lock 6. Hertford is Lock 1, I think, where I'm heading. So I've only got 5 more locks to go. And there's no rhyme or reason. They're not regularly spread out. You can't say it's 3 kilometres to the next lock or whatever. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. So thanks for listening, and see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.